Real talk, how cool would it be if you could have one power from any Pokemon in the franchise? Which one would you choose to have in the real world? Now this question is very hard to answer since there are so many amazing answers like Dialga's power over time or Mewtwo's psychic abilities. But let's turn this hypothetical and make it a bit more fun. What if you couldn't choose a legendary or mythical Pokemon's powers? Cause I mean, come on, that's just boring since every special Pokemon is just so broken. I'm talking about the actual huge batch of Pokemon who aren't legendaries or mythicals. Which Pokemon's ability would be the most beneficial for your life? My name is Pokey, and today we try to find the best power to have from the Pokemon franchise. Now to find out what ability we should obtain, we should first lay down the rules in finding the perfect ability. Firstly, the ability would have to serve some beneficial use for your day-to-day life. Of course, everyone's life is different, but an ability that can serve a purpose in almost any field you could possibly imagine. That's what we're going for. Secondly, the ability should be one that could protect you from incoming danger. I mean, let's be honest here, the government would immediately be after you ASAP, so we want to make sure we have a strong enough ability that could stop you from getting captured. And lastly, we want the ability to not be a detriment to society or our social life as a whole. If our ability can mess up the entire world, then that's a problem. I'm looking at you, Alex. I already know you're going to be a supervillain. Oh, and you can only have one aspect of a Pokemon's abilities. For example, you can choose Gardevoir's telekinesis, but you can't get her telepathy that comes with it. But anyways, now that we laid down the foundation, we can now start digging into the endless possibilities. So when thinking of powers that would help me from getting captured by the government or other organizations in general, I immediately want to go to Pokemon like Dragonite's strength. Dragonite has been shown to be capable of destroying entire cities as a Dragonair. Yes, that's not a joke either. With that type of strength, I can try and challenge pretty much anything, right? Wrong. Even if you had the strength to destroy entire cities, you're still susceptible to other means like poison, radiation, gas, and much more. I'm sure by now it's starting to look a little tricky, isn't it? If we can only have one ability, then how are we going to check off one stat, let alone the other two? Well, my friends, that's where we have Ghost-type Pokemon. You see, all Ghost-type Pokemon have an ability that could stop you from getting harmed at all, no matter what happens. That being the ability every Ghost-type loves to use, intangibility. For those of you who don't understand what intangibility is, it essentially makes you untouchable in simple terms. Meaning anything just goes through you without making physical contact, and since ghost types have been shown to turn this ability on and off, you'd be able to do the same, so you would have full control over it. With that, you wouldn't be able to get harmed by anything nor anyone. But here's the issue with this ability. How efficient or beneficial is this ability truly? I mean, I would say it would be kind of convenient for going downstairs or through walls, but it wouldn't necessarily help with things like sports or other extracurricular activities since it would probably be considered cheating. So although we found a solid option, we're gonna have to eliminate it. So what other Pokemon have a power that checks all the boxes? Do you guys have any in mind? Okay, I kind of felt like Dora there. That was kind of weird. But after I gave it more thought, I realized Psychic type Pokemon could prove insanely useful. For starters, if you had mind reading, you could do so many things with that. Now, technically speaking, this wouldn't be able to protect you from the government or such, but think of it this way. If you had Gardevoir's mind reading, you would have the ability to read minds. How could someone even prove that you can read minds as long as you're not being stupid about it? As long as you play your cards right and you're not a freaking idiot, you would be able to protect yourself since no one would be able to know about your power. Plus, the power would be extremely convenient. I mean, for starters, you could win casino games that would work well with your ability, and you can get insanely rich by doing that. In some cases, you could also be the best trivia player of all time, because as always, no one would be able to know about your ability. So already we have 2 boxes down, but what about the third one? The issue I see with mind reading is that although it can be immensely powerful as long as you're not being completely stupid, that is, the power wouldn't really be useful for everyday activities, and let's be honest, we can aim even higher. What power could be so powerful but at the same time so low-key that no one would be able to find out about it? And at the same time, how convenient would it be to have it in real life? Before we get into the final ability, I just wanted to say if you enjoy these fun hypothetical scenarios, consider subscribing. It would mean a lot to me as well. But regardless, thanks so much for watching this video. I couldn't ask for anything more. I guess I just asked you guys to subscribe. Forget it. Well, my friends, what about the ability to see the future? Now, I know what you're saying. Pokey, you said we couldn't use any legendary mythical abilities. We can't have Dialga's powers. But that's where you're wrong, little Timmy. What if I told you that there's a Pokemon that could actually see the future and change it at will? A Pokemon that isn't even legendary. That Pokemon is none other than Gothitelle. By reading the stars, Gothitelle has the ability to see the future of anyone and everything, meaning, let's say you gain the ability, as well as being able to process the information while retaining your sanity, of course, since that would be stupid. This is a hypothetical after all, it wouldn't be fun if it wasn't. What couldn't you do? You wouldn't necessarily be a detriment to society since you don't have to be changing world level things. Even small things like doing your homework or seeing all the mistakes of a basketball game before it happens. Not to mention you would be safe since after all, no one can prove you have the ability in the first place. Not to mention you could also use it for legit anything you want. It's essentially mind reading but 10 times better. That's why in my humble opinion, I believe that the best power to have from any Pokemon would be the ability to see the future. From Gothitelle, of course. Now that we figured out possibly the best power to have in Pokemon, I want to start thinking of what the best power could be if we included legendaries and mythicals. Excluding Arceus, of course, because, you know, that's come on, guys. Also, yes, I call them Arceus, fight me. And let me start by saying that it's not Dialga and Palkia, and here's why. The reason being is that you would be a detriment to society, don't even lie. And even if you knew how to master these two concepts, because remember, these are concepts you're dealing with, time and space are so incredibly powerful that it would make life just not only less enjoyable, but also very sad. They're just too complex to deal with, and even if you knew how to master them, it's just like, it's time and space, guys. Come on, they're just way out of our range. Personally, the power that I would choose out of the legendary and mythical batch would be easily Victini. I mean, just think about it. The power to win at absolutely anything is so universal, it's not even funny. You could win any sports game ever. You could win any fight you get into. You could win any boxing match. The possibilities are endless. You'd also win the Olympics literally every single time. Like that's just cool to me. But now let's talk about which powers would be the absolute worst to have in real life. First off, if you're one of those people that wanted to choose Darkrai's Bad Dreams, not only would you be a detriment to society, you are an actual supervillain. If you guys wanted to choose time or space, you think you have a god complex, and let's be honest here, you are not God. Or maybe you guys went for something simple like controlling fire, getting fire from Charizard or Ninetales, and if so, please don't cause another wildfire. I mean, like, why? Like, let's be honest here. Why would you choose fire? What are you going to do? Put out fires with your fire? Like you're gonna cause mass destruction. Bro, you are not Zuko, alright? Chill. Let's be honest here. Most of you guys would probably choose any kind of Pokemon power to commit mass genocide because, you know, you'd guys all be villains. Let's be honest here. And if you guys chose Hypnosis from Hypno, you are an actual supervillain. I know I was talking about that with Darkrai, but no, you are an actual supervillain. Now, of course, there's endless amounts of powers within the Pokemon franchise, and that's why I want you to comment down below what you think the best ability to have in real life would be and from which Pokemon. Whoever has the coolest ability will get pinned after 1 week of the video being posted. But friends, that's all Yuki wrote, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.